Okay, I think we're all set. Howdy, Xavier. Good to see you in the chat. Yeah, I think what we have is what we're getting. Trying to make this look right, even though they obviously didn't animate this expecting players to actually see. Doesn't help you with these stupid chain staircase things in the way too. Okay, now she's just chewing on her bones. Hey Nick, good to see you in the chat. Helping with the food drive? That's cool. Oh, I didn't want to do that. There we go. So this is the inaccessible tower. So you have the unused fourth tower. This is the yurt tower. This is the swamp tower, because I'm pretty sure you have to go through the swamp to access it. Yeah, because this is where the church would be, right? So this is the church. There's the Prison of Hope right there. You can't really see it. Like, there's the Prison of Hope. Yeah, you really can't see it looking here. So in total, we see like 4 prisons. There we go. Yeah, so that's all the way over there. Get out of here. There we are. All right. I don't know how the cage is coming back up here. I think we lost that one. There's the Queen's Tower still. All right. There we go. Okay, still church tower here, right? The The other towers now disappeared, right? You can see the chains, but they don't load in the actual tower now. I guess because it's not visible from here. We can start seeing this, but Yurt hasn't actually showed up yet. Oh, random tower all the way up out here now. Same here, behind the Queen's Tower. And a random one here. Also inaccessible. A lot of these. Yeah, we have to go up. I feel like the drop rate is crazy on these, but it could be because of my sword. Yeah, who cares? Who cares? Hey, I am good to see you as well. We should be close to pure white tendency. Oh yeah, we are. We're at pure white. We got the bridge. Man, it's amazing, chat. The world is so good to us, or we've been so good to the world that the world gives us back a random plague to bridge a gap. Oh, that's cool. Actually coming up here to see the chains is pretty cool. Not gonna lie. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that's true. They gotta keep on giving their magical energy, their magical yellow energy. Stop planting trees, no space left. Listen, just because it's all just now urban towers and swamp doesn't mean I can't find a place to plant a tree. You can't stop me, I am. How does this chain work below here? Oh, okay. I see. I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Just enough for the cutscene. All right. Oh, my brain didn't even factor if I was getting that in the shot or not. I hope I wasn't. That would really suck. Okay, we'll retake that shot then. There we go. Uh-huh. Something like this. All right. All right. BGM is so base. Well, I did feel like I wanted something a little calmer compared to what we've had, so with SC coming, I thought this would be a good choice, you know? Oh, damn, it's that stupid item. I just noticed. Oh, my brain just tunes out when I see glowing things because so much of it's just lighting. I didn't want to jump down here until I was absolutely certain, but... A shard of archstone. Oh, that's cute. A chance to go back in case you don't want to free him. Huh? I'll be honest, I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why they disappear from this angle, if I'm being honest. Seems kind of wrong to me. You only have 5 months to finish FC. I'll make it in time. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. There we go. We want to summon Mephistopheles, so we have to let Yurt go back and then kill him back at the Nexus. Alright. I think that's... Nope, we're good. Okay.
Are you here to fight? If so, I am.
See if we can get cool shots with Yurt. Let's see what we can do. All right. Maybe. Da-da-da. Look, if the games don't explain explicitly what causes hollowing, how can we be sure that's a side effect of the dark sign and blah, blah, blah? Why Miyazaki chose not to explain it? I'm Luca, by the way. I mean, I feel like Dark Souls 3's hollowing gem is as explicit a confirmation as you're ever gonna want to get, personally, Luca. But let's put all of, let's put that aside and be like, okay, how can we be so sure that's a side effect of the dark sign? Ignoring the fact that, one, it is something that is always tied or connected to the undead, which by extension is connected directly to the dark sign and of course to undeath in general. The fact that even in Dark Souls 2 there's talks about undead and hollowing and everything like that, right? Like, I mean, I don't know what else you'd be looking for. Like, it is always a side effect, right? Like, they're always, undeath and hollowing always go hand in hand. So like the closest you could argue is that it would have to be something else which somehow requires undeath to still be a prerequisite, which at that point, that seems like trying to just mince words. I feel like if the standard is we need to make sure we have something in absolutely like A equals B type of terminology, you're never going to get anywhere, like forget in Dark Souls, but in life. But if you are trying to get at a slightly different point, please feel free to elaborate a bit more, because I might just not be understanding your question quite. As to why Miyazaki chooses not to, and how or in what degree he explains or doesn't explain things, I don't know. I'm not Miyazaki. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd probably say he tries to do what he thinks is the most satisfactory for his narrative. So like if he feels that if saying something more bluntly, like let's say for example, when he states something like say souls are the symbol of life, right? He feels like, okay, I think that's pretty clear. I don't think I need to say anything more about that. But then I don't know, what would be another good example? God, what would be a really good example of this? Okay, how about like say in the example of like Seath and his relationship with Guinevere. This would probably be a good one, right? Miyazaki uses the term gaiseki, right, which very clearly it has some wiggle room, right? You have some room, like it's not like it's like, you know, there's only one possible potential way to read that, right? Like you could always be like, you know, maybe, you know, some people take it in its common translation as maternal relative and be like, well, maybe Seath married Gwyn's mother or something. It's like, okay, well, one, we don't have anything about his mother or anything in the narrative, so this would be kind of completely out of left field. One, you're now trying to say randomly that his mother, like, yeah, obviously you could come up with a million problems with that, but point is like, that's a terminology where there's at least some wiggle room, which by itself, on its own, you would not be able to come to 100% strict determinations. But you take that with a collection of other pieces of evidence, and it becomes very clear the picture that it's trying to paint, right? So I imagine Miyazaki didn't want to say something explicitly about that, because he felt like it was more interesting to the character and the narrative for players to come up and realize that about their own, especially considering it's about a bunch of essentially family and political family drama, right? And that aspect wasn't necessarily needed to get across. You just need to be like, oh, you know, Seath one day went crazy and stuff. You don't need the whole backstory on Seath's home, family, and domestic life and all the circumstances that led up to that, right? Like, it's not needed to explain the immediate circumstances of it. And I imagine that's sort of generally the idea, is that Miyazaki's trying to always balance, you know, what do I need in order to be able to convey the absolute basics of the narrative for people to follow along, and versus what I can cut out and leave for people to be able to kind of discover as tidbits, you know, that type of thing. Now let's see. I think that's all we can really get with Yurt, right? Like, I don't think we're getting any other... It's hard to do it because I'm trying to do it without the stupid-ass Augites in the way, right? That's okay. That one's okay. Like, at some point, I feel like I'm going to have to just get shots of him at the Nexus and just accept that. I'm trying to get some cool shots we can get, like, him walking around and things like that. Yeah, but how can we be sure that specifically the dark soul within men, that when the fire fades and the ring of fire loses power, breaks free from the shackles and starts eating the white soul? Well, one, it's the fact that this doesn't happen before the fire begins fading, like undeath and everything like that. Everything, both circumstantially and from what's stated outright, is that, you know, that's just not a thing, right? Like, this just doesn't happen, right? And again, at some point, you're gonna have to just make the determination that, yeah, like, this is just how it is. So on that front, it's just the nature of, okay, well, this doesn't really, we don't have any examples or anything that we can really point to say that, you know, there's anything else really to be responsible on that front as far as the timing, right? So already it's like, okay, well, the timing has to start right when undeath is happening. Two, we have to then be like, well, what is the dark sign? What is it's the Ring of Fire and all that stuff. And then of course you can take in Dark Souls 3 for confirmation about the Ring of Fire being a seal of fire imposed by the gods and all that stuff. But again, this is all something that you could derive implicitly back in Dark Souls 1, which is one of the points I make in Abyssal Archive, right? So already we're talking about, okay, well, what is the Ring of Fire stuff? Well, what is the Ring of Fire sealing? It's sealing the dark of the abyss. Again, if you want something explicit, you can cite a Dark Souls 3 on this front. So we already know, okay, so there's a Ring of Fire that's sealing the dark, right? But the dark, when the fire fades, suddenly this seal of fire is becoming manifest. It's becoming visible, manifest on there, and the dark, and it's called a dark ring, right? Like that's the JP name used for it and everything like that. And that's the idea of the dark sign, right? So the emphasis is always being placed on the dark and that it exists. Obviously, the Ring of Fire is also a factor, right? But no one is ever making the claim or making an argument or even showing any examples of the Ring of Fire, for example, causing it. Also, we just don't see this how a fire ever behaves like this, right? There we go. All right, I think we got enough shots of this guy. Maybe we can move on. Right, like, so again, I don't know what we're trying to argue here. Are we arguing about timing wise? Are we arguing about mechanics wise? Like, the statements about the shackles, of course, comes from Koth and things like that, for the shackles of the gods in relations to the Ring of Fire and all that stuff, right? The general idea that fire is fading and stuff we get from Guinevere, and the idea that as the power of fire fades and everything becomes a dark of night, and the illusions we also get in the opening cinematic. And then the idea then, okay, so well, what about, say, our white soul specifically? Well, there's this idea that all people have souls, and this would implicitly include humans, who we, of course, are always looting souls from. Souls of heroes, souls of knights, souls of warriors, blah, 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 right? So there's already that implicit understanding that humans also possess, of course, white souls and things like that. And these are souls which are constantly being pointed out as getting devoured across the 3 games, getting eaten up, gobbled up, however you want to put it, by things like the dark sign and stuff like that. So if we're not taking any of what characters already are saying about this into account, let's just think about it logically. Humanity is this weird thing that people didn't, at least at the time of Dark Souls 1, weren't really understanding, right? What is it, right? And there's nothing explicitly that says humanity is the dark soul of man either. I think you have to look to Miyazaki in an interview for him to say that explicitly about humanity being the fragments of the dark soul that the pygmy had split up and given, right? So again, if we're trying to get into this argument about certainty and stuff like that, we can look there. So the idea is that you have the humanity, you have a white soul, and that these white souls, as we see, seem to be where all your soul, your memory, your life, again, you can look to several other aspects and elements confirming this idea that souls are the source of life, and we see memory and consciousness being tied, again, connected inexorably to life, power, and all that stuff. So we have all that now established for what the white soul is and what it means. So all your memories and your nominal life is coming from that. But then you have this humanity, which is apparently being sealed by a Ring of Fire, right? And that Ring of Fire is supposedly causing hollowing, which is essentially your memories and everything getting devoured, eaten up, consumed, you know, stripped away from you. And if the soul is where the source of that memory is, well, put 2 and 2 together. So again, like, we just have a bunch of disparate pieces across all the games that pretty much all reaffirm this same idea. So like I said, at some point you put 2 and 2 together or you don't, right? We're not gonna... Oh. Wait. Huh? Huh? Wait. I was on death's door? Now I'm kerfuzzled. I must have taken more damage from the gargoyles than I remembered. Yeah, I don't remember taking that much damage. You're like, sorry I can't have anything put together more coherently off the top of my head, Luca. Again, I do cover all this in AA. So that's probably the best place if you wanted a coherent talk about that. But the short answer is we can be sure because, again, everything, both explicitly and circumstantially, points in the same direction. And at some point, you kind of just have to accept that that is sufficient. That is sufficient for the purposes of this game. Or I should say these games, considering, you know, trilogy. Huh. How much does that cost you anyway? I don't see any difference. I guess we'll find out when we go up here. I hope it's not that the stupid... I hope it's not the stupid centipede ended up killing me in one go. I hate these guys' AI because they'll just wait. I don't know if they're programmed to wait. Or if it's just something bonkers about the AI. It's so hard to tell with this. Listen, I don't need you following me. Did I just two-shot him? That's actually impressive. Oh my god. All right. Listen, buddy, I've got shots to take. I can't be dealing with your AI BS. The last thing I need is to get myself killed because I do something absolutely stupid and drop myself off the wrong side of the ledge. God, I wish. If anyone makes a mod for daytime Latria, where it's just legitimately Latria, but proper lighting during the day, like, I don't care if it's like Stonefang lighting or something, like, you somehow get it to work, I'll love you forever. Alright, so as I was saying last time, I'm going to try not to kill any of the enemies and just focus on looting all the items. So that way... we can reload. Oh god, I forgot. I guess it could work. Oh my god. There we go. I also have to find a good oh god, maybe I was one shot. Oh my, that was a lot from just the stinger. That was a lot from just the stinger. It's so nice that there's still greenery in Latria, you know? You'd think with all the blood and guts and everything becoming a giant nasty-ass swamp. Ooh. Where'd the little people come from? I think we're gonna have to get used to this one. All right, how quickly can I do this without gargoyles? I know I shouldn't be doing this with 130k souls in the line, one entire level up. But I absolutely must. Truly, I must. It is in my blood. To try to save time. So far, so good. This one I have to be careful of because you know how these guys are. I mean, so far, running just past everything is working. Also, isn't this the sound effect used in Anor Londo? Like, I'm pretty sure this is the same as the corkscrew. Oh. Oh, get wrecked, idiot. There we go. Wait. Am I crazy or are the Augits changing? No, yeah, they have to be. There was a purple one. And this one wasn't blue, it was red. Do they change color every time you spawn in? That is hilarious, if so. I did not realize that. Oh God, making the mistake. It's this way. I need to remember, it's this way. Oh God. Oh God. Oh. Man, me trying to do this without killing anything? That is a struggle. We get some Augits. Okay. I think we've hit our No, it's over here. Okay. think that covers all the items in this area. I may be wrong. You guys can tell me if I'm missing something, but... is it correct to say that because the dark sign placed by Gwyn, men lost connection to their true nature, made these white souls the home of their memories and consciousness, and became mortals? Yes, that is the logical implication, right? That if the dark soul is the true soul of man, and it is an immortal soul of a greedy predilection, right? And the gods, led by Gwyn, Ooh, I think this is a good place for us to actually... One second. Sorry, Luca. Give me a sec. I need your patience as I try to give myself an opportunity. There we go. Okay, so anyway, so that would be the logical implication, yes. That if, the Dark Soul is responsible for human immortality, and their generally, greedy nature and stuff like that, and this is being suppressed by the Rings of Fire, planted by the gods, right? And that as a byproduct of that, when the seal is weakened, when the fire fades, and the dark begins mindlessly consuming the other soul and does not seem to have a intelligent consciousness of its own. It only acts upon its base greedy nature. And this results in the humans who regain their immortality to become mindless monsters effectively. Then yes, that would be the idea. That the acts of the gods allowed a white soul to be cultivated, for the lack of a better term, a white soul to be cultivated in man, right? Separate from the dark soul. This essentially caused the dark soul to be caged separately, so it was not allowed to develop and, what's the word? Integrate into the human ego to the same degree, and so therefore, when it is freed, there is now this issue where that soul, by its nature, wants to devour and consume the soul where the human ego is located, right? So it's all connected. There we go. I don't know if I would call it a corrupted form necessarily, Luca. The idea is supposed to be that, as Vendrick confirms in Dark Souls 2, that the form of the undead, the form of the hollow, is the true form of man. The irony is that the human form, which happens to look more like the gods, or again, for the sake of the terminology, I prefer the medials, right? That look like the medial race. That is a byproduct of man's dark soul being sealed and suppressed, and that their true form is in fact the hollow, right? That is the true human form. Where is it? I don't think it's spawned right now. No. Right. Yes, that would be the default state. The pygmy would have split up his soul, his humanity, for him and his kin. The the humans with their dark soul would be where they would cultivate their memory, consciousness, and ego, right? That they would integrate, you know, that into their being, and that would be how it would have remained into perpetuity. Effectively, any relationship. It's because everything becomes shadowy. So the farther I go, it becomes impossible for me to be able to get like any bird's eye view shots and stuff like that. That is, ugh. That makes me so sad. Hmm. It looks like it's all loaded in, so that's actually really good for me. Maybe something like this. Yeah, we don't live in hypotheticals, but had Gwyn not committed the quote-unquote first sin and imposed the dark sign upon man, we wouldn't have the calamity of the undead curse as it is, because man would always have their dark soul as per normal. The gods would, I guess the gods would keep on just being themselves, right? Like nothing, it doesn't really affect them. I guess theoretically their power of light is weakening because of the loss of fire's power over time. But this shouldn't cause them any major issues, as we see with the case of Gwyn and the first flame after Linky and stuff like that, right? Like there's still plenty of power, right? We're talking about like macrocosmic level events and obviously stuff like pyromancy and miracles and things. Like they still hold plenty of strength. So at least until fire's completely gone. And even then, I mean, based on just the nature of miracles and faith and stuff like that, and like what we see on microcosmic levels with like embers and things, you could still make an argument of some remnant of divine power probably existing in some form. I like that shot, actually. I forgot I have these guys frozen, so they're not breathing, quote unquote. There we go. Anyway, and then by the time that the fire faded and stuff like that, probably you'd see some nominal increase in Dark's power and Light's weakening. So relatively, you know, one would become stronger than the others. And then it would all depend on sort of the personal relationships and things that would have been cultivated during that period, right? Like, again, this is something, a point I made with Acer on a podcast at one point, was that theoretically, had Gwyn decided to go down a different route, where he just tried to make alliances and build relationships with the pygmies, so that way, when the time inevitably came that Gwyn's era, or I should say that the Medial's era over Light had finished, they would have that capital with the pygmies, so that way things could remain relatively unchanged, even if they had to, in some form, accept a kind of vassalage, right? At the very least, you might have been able to salvage something for your future, right? Plus, doesn't the Age of Dark ending in DS3 outright say that little embers are still dancing in the dark and a new flame will erupt? Okay, that is different, the best guy. That is in the context of developments in Dark Souls 3, specifically because of the Lord of Cinder project. So the way it's not even fair to, I guess you could still say the gods, because Gwendolyn was still involved, but and I guess Guinevere technically too. But anyway, the point is that this is a project where Lothric and the gods essentially made it, where by essentially turning Lords of Cinder into this democratized lineage, where you, of course, have the Lord of Cinder, who is always supplying the flame, but then you have pieces of the first flame, embers of it, being broken off and kept by other Lords of Cinder, who are then buried and sealed off, right? The idea there, then, is that even if you got rid of the first flame, there are still those lords, right? It wasn't just Aldrich, Yorm, Abyss, and... yeah, Aldrich, Yorm, Abyss Watchers, and Ludlith, and then you have nominally the Twin Princes to fill in one of the gaps. Like, it wasn't just them. There are other Lords of Cinders besides them who are all part of this emergency system. Well, obviously, because the emergency system clearly well predated, well, Ludlith is proof of this, it well predated most of those Lords of Cinder who are involved in it, plus Lothric and Lorien, right? Like, most of the Lords of Cinder we encounter became Lords of Cinder within the past century. The system itself has existed for hundreds, if not thousands of years. So the point is that the Firekeeper is sort of, she says this before the ending, but she reiterates it in the ending. And the point is that there are plenty of lords who are sealed away, like the Lords of Cinder, who were woken up for this emergency system most recently, and that with the fire fading and stuff like that, their seal will definitely be undone, and they will just exist out there. They will be little embers of the first flame out there in the world, and this is why the forces like Londor don't go for the traditional Age of Dark, like what Koth would originally want in Dark Souls 1, because circumstances have changed, and now they need to account for this and the continued stagnation of the world that this will be causing, even if they try to go down this route. And so instead they go for the slightly different direction with the Lord of Hollows stuff. So again, that's specific to Dark Souls 3. If, for example, an Age of Dark ending like we have in Dark Souls 1 were to occur, it would just be Age of Dark as normal, right? Though again, as I always say, with what we see with, say, Chaos Demons and stuff like that, you could always make a case that there might be some small traces of fire or something that would still exist, theoretically separate or what have you. It's, again, we don't know exactly how strong the bonds between the first flame and everything it's affected would work. It sort of depends on how exactly the mechanics of disparity work in relation to the Dark Soul on this, because it's hard for people to think about, but the Dark is a part of fire. I know that's weird because we always think of it in the context of absence of flame, but on a cosmological level, the dark is just another aspect of the flame in its absence, right? Like, before there was flame, there was no light or dark, there was simply existence. After the flame, there can only be states that exist based on its presence or absence. And as a result, the dark happens to fulfill that role, and it is one of the pieces of disparity that, of course, is embodied by the Lord Souls, right? So, if there's a life, light, death, and and Dark Souls together, right? Like, dark is inherently part of those aspects of disparity that came to be with fire, right? And so, in a sense, even when the first flame is faded and gone, it is still having its effect on the world, right? Like, it's not like the powers and the effects of the first flame have disappeared, so to say. It's just that the expression of its power has shifted, because the power of disparity aligned with the dark is the one that is naturally, by the nature of flame, then eventually the fire will fade and only dark will reveal, like that whole mantra, right? The point is that essentially that dark is just the end state of disparity on a macro level, right? And that is the nature of souls, which will remain in perpetuity because, again, immortal, dark, you know, all that stuff. But since in order for me to not make things so overly complicated, let's just say that things would have been much simpler if we just had our Age of Dark ending in the first game. There wouldn't be sequels. Forget the sequels. Dark Souls is canceled, everybody. It's now just dark. Yeah, I think that's everything. I think that's all the shots we're gonna want to get of this. This isn't as complicated as I thought it was when in terms of like the layout of the bridges and stuff. Oh yeah, let's do this. I like that. Oh, there's another one over here? No, not here. Yeah, over here with the cages and stuff. Hey, Berg, welcome to the stream. So what is the curse of the undead if the undead itself is the true nature of men? I think this curse concept is indoctrination of the gods, and the real only problem is the hollowing effect. Again, curses is a very loose terminology. A curse essentially refers to, how do I put this? It refers to any phenomenon which is powerful enough to affect the soul. That is the when you strip it all down, that is the bare definition. Is it any kind of magic or any kind of power? Let's not even try to define it as magic. Is it any type of power or phenomenon from a certain expression of power which is able to afflict the soul in some manner? If yes, then you can consider that a curse, and that's really all it is. Now, whether or not, like, oh, the gods are the ones who came up with the idea of curses. Again, I'm not going to get into. That's beside the point to me. The point being is that to the extent that we hear talk about curses and things, this is always what it's referring to. Is something that has on some effect has an affect, or an affect, I should say, on the soul. So in that case, the undead curse does, right? Because it is the dark sign, and the dark sign, of course, is a seal of fire, which is effectively caging the soul of man, the humanity, and by extension, the expression of that soul is causing the humanity to devour and negatively affect the white soul that in man. So yes, by that definition, these are most definitely curses. Now, the point I would want to make there we go. The point I would want to make there is that souls and powers which affect souls and things of that nature are like a dime a dozen. Huh. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting that. Huh. The more you know. The more you know. Like, that is at its core what on death really is, and basically anything, almost anything, can end up becoming a curse. This is why in Dark Souls 2 you see the argument that life itself is a curse, because it is technically your soul acting upon itself. again, it's more of a philosophical point being made rather than a cosmological lore mechanic idea being discussed. But it's still very much a thing to consider, is the idea that technically life itself is a curse, as it is a outgrowth of one's own soul. So again, yeah, I don't consider curses to be a very, like, a strict term. It's very loose. I've heard Halloween was caused by the first flame gradually burning people's souls as fuel. Well, again, the problem with that is then going to the timing, because, well, if we're talking about the fire being the seal of fire around the humanity, well, that's always been happening. And why would that affect mankind again? Because that's the sealed aspect of the dark and whatever. Like, that's the part that humans don't really know or cared about until the case of undeath, and then that's when bonfires were being used for you to get rid of your humanity and you were burning, right? And again, that doesn't accelerate hollowing. It in fact reverses hollowing when you're burning the humanity. Like, so yeah, like that idea definitely doesn't work. That doesn't jive. But yeah, again, this is the funny thing about curses, right? Is that at least in the context of Dark Souls, I won't speak for Elden Ring. You don't really see the term pop up too much in Bloodborne, but it kind of has the same application in Bloodborne. But in that case, Bloodborne, the soul is blood itself. So, like, I mean, and everything in Bloodborne is blood. So, like, it's a very pantheistic cosmological setup. So, like, that's, yeah, Bloodborne would be kind of a weird one. I think Bloodborne would probably take the more traditional idea of curse, and that's just generally a negative, you would generally think of curse as just a negative expression of arcane power. That would probably be the safest definition I can think of. Like, I feel like that would probably be the best way to define it. But, like, again, I wouldn't consider it necessarily too different from Dark Souls' conception. But, like, Elden Ring, I have no idea. So can't speak on that one. And Demon Souls doesn't really address the idea of curses. I don't know what that was all about. I heard what's getting unplugged this time? Oh! All right, let's do this. This is the fact that curses in Dark Souls, once applied, are almost impossible to truly break and have to be transferred to something else. Yeah, again, this goes back to the idea of the soul. It eats away at life force in the soul of souls, oftentimes, and things like that. So, like, again, how do you get rid of something that's so deeply rooted that it's eating the very essence of your being? That's so difficult, right? And the idea of transferring curses is obviously the most viable solution. Rather than necessarily getting rid of the curse, you essentially try to redirect its target, which is what we see with, say, Ingward uses humanity as a sacrifice in order to pull off his curse rendering art. We see also cases with curses being dispelled, like, say, with the fragrant branch of Yor, though in that case it's more so dispel. It's kind of like reversing the curse's effects by essentially stimulating the soul through smell. Right? So you use a smell which apparently invokes memories of nostalgia and yearning and things of that nature, and that is able to undo the effects of basilisks, at least. We don't know if it would work on other forms of petrification. The game only shows typically basilisks being the cause for the statues we find. But it's like there are, like, there's no like, you know, like I said, curses, it's such a loose term that it can be applied to almost anything in any field of magic, right? It's not like, say, sorcery, miracles, and pyromancy, where those are very specific, very well defined. To an extent, hexes are too, and things of that nature. So, like, it's just very different when you're dealing with curses, because it's just so loosey-goosey. I already have shots of this stuff here. and resetting you again. I will say this, thank God that the PC version lets me have, lets me be able to do all this with short loading screens. Imagine if we had like 30-second to a minute loading screens like in the OG. I don't know if I'd be able to survive, chat. I'm sorry to say. I think I might be cooked. I might have like pulled my hair out being like, no, I don't want to sit through another loading screen. No! Don't do this to me. But thankfully the game isn't like hard coded to require like long loading screens or some bullshit. Man. Latria, you just don't want me to get cool shots of you. Also, seriously, I guess it makes sense because you can't really look up. So when you're here, you won't really see, but I feel like I'd be able to see that there, right? Like, call me crazy. No, not this way. Oh no, now you show it. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, sure, whatever. Whatever, game. I guess I was always looking at the angles when they didn't want to show it because you couldn't possibly see it. I wonder if it's literally only in this spot. Like if I walked onto this platform or something here, they would deload it or something. I will say this though, it may be because I've been working with Smotown for his recent Aldrich video, that's gonna come out hopefully soon. Whenever that comes out though, but like I've been getting the Dark Souls 3 itch again, you know? Like, man, I love Dark Souls 3. Come on, guys, come on. All right, I think that'll do. All right, I've done it. I think I've gotten all the shots I can for this stupid swamp section. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna take this shot just for my future memory. God, though, even with max brightness, man, you can't really see much. All these sunken buildings and things. The third entry in the series called Dark Souls? Yes, Xavier. I am feeling myself quite pinched about the desire to replay the third entry. Well, actually not even replay, just talk about and gush about, you know, story stuff for Dark Souls 3. But the third entry of the Dark Souls. I'm not the most thrilled with it, but I do look forward to doing Game Plus on it. Again, it's just, for me, it's just the narrative thing. Dark Souls 3 is one of those games that you can't fully appreciate unless you understood Dark Souls 1 and 2, and nobody understood Dark Souls 1 and 2, so it's like, damn. Like, there's so much good stuff done there. It's by no means a perfect game, of course. I would be far from calling it a perfect game. I think anyone would just like point to Karthus and be like, man, they could have done that so much better. I would especially say that. I'd be like, damn, they did such a good story in Karthus, and they expressed it in the absolute worst bit of area ever. Like, holy hell. Like, Forget Chalice Dungeons. This was them straining their environmental storytelling. But working with Smoketown and stuff, I think it just kind of reminded me being like, yeah, there's just so much shit I just want to talk about at the top of my, like, scream at the top of my lungs about for DS3. I think Smoketown might feel the same way as I do, by the way. We'll see. We'll see. Spo's always getting the bite for the different FromSoft games, but he's a busy guy, so we'll see how that develops. Now let's see. Oh, don't even remind me of Tuberg. Ugh. Absolute waste of spinning your wheels. Absolute waste of sequel. I don't even know what Wolder's attacks look like. There is Night Scout. We did that check yesterday. So don't worry, we already confirmed the third tower. You cannot access it. The entrance to it is a window. A window which you cannot access on the staircase, I'm pretty sure. All right, I got shots here. Mm-hmm. Oh man, this is so rough. I don't know if they consider making this longer because we see 4 towers, at least in the immediate vicinity, which theoretically could be connected. It may just be that they wanted to have a more expansive cutscene, right? Maybe they want to make it where you would see other towers in a chain reaction after you do the first or second. Who knows? I would love someone to dig into the files though, see if there's anything, like maybe there's like a good indication of this would be if we had collision data for that third tower, because then that would tell you, okay, they were at least considering the possibility that you may at one point want the player to physically you know, travel there on foot. Oh, I think this is gonna be it. I don't like it, but I'll just have to accept the clipping. That might work better. Here's the question. Does he turn around before we get here? Okay, yeah, he does. Imagine having a tentacle sticking out your butt. Does that hurt, you think? I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't want to... I think I'd rather take my chances with the Fool's Idol, you know? Not sure I'd want to spend my time as a octopus man. I hate it. I hate all the shots here, but I guess we'll just have to deal with it. Well, guys, I'm sorry to say. Hello? Controller? Controller? Are you working? There we go. Really? I might die here. That was lame. I can't believe that hit me. Well, we have to go through this song and dance again. Oh, I didn't activate the. I think. Oh, those are. That was a shortcut, wasn't it? Damn, I should have used that. Oh well, we have to go the long way. I should have used the. The hanging cage to create a shortcut. I might not even have a butt. I guess that's true. Maybe he's no longer got the hole. Speaking from experience, Nick, I don't want to hear about your experience if it involves tentacles and buttholes, okay? Let me through, Mr. Gargoyle. I did not mean for us to take... Ooh. There we go. Oh yeah, they use a lot of, like I was saying earlier, actually. I was like, isn't this the corkscrew from Anor Londo? Like, I'm 99% sure it is. Like, they reuse most of their sound effects in Dark Souls. I think I remember hearing, Nito's, I think it's Poison Mist. I think Nito's, little, woman scream cry. I think that's used in Poison Mist or something when you cast it. I forget which one it is, but I remember during the Let's Play, that I heard that sound. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's that sound effect. Oh no, is it here? Oh, I think it's here instead. Yeah, okay. Okay, so no, it wasn't a shortcut. It was this instead, I think. I was wondering if maybe there was a shortcut to the front tower there with the way they had the hanging cages in the first little section, but no, I think I was thinking of this instead and I mispositioned myself. Yeah, because right here is the platform. Okay, yeah. So I guess that's the reason they give you the Shard of Archstone, because you don't even have to encounter Yurt and help him if you don't want to. In order to get down there, you can just kind of just restart the level and stay on the higher platform. All right, guys. What am I missing? I think we have pretty much everything covered that I care about. Like, all we really need now is man-eaters, I think. I guess we could get a shot at that stupid Black Phantom Octopus Man on the higher level, because I think he exists. But I think this is it for 3-2. Come on! How the hell? Riddle me this, Batman. How the hell did I get hit by that? Am I that stupid? Like, seriously, it's not hard. I just don't get it. How am I this bad? Oh, wait, 1 second, chat. No, doggo, I do not want you deciding you're going to pick that up. She's gotten better at the biting thing, I will say. Like, she's not, you know, biting and picking things up now as much. She's leaving that part of her past behind. Oh, I don't care. It's Moonlight Stone. Who gives a crud? Ow! Okay, cool. Oh. I think we got it. I think we got it. Yeah, something like that. Just a little. No, that's too low. There we go. There we go. All right, shot of Crossbow Boy in the air. Get back here, dumbasses! Thank God these gargoyles don't have high poise. I think I said that yesterday, but like, it bears. Oh my God. Why the hell are you all chasing me? Where did you come from? I thought there were only 2 of you. Alright. I want to say this is giving you the tutorial for the man-eaters, but we all know that the AI for both is just equal. What tutorial? It's all crap. I can't see. I can't see. I don't need an assist trophy. There we go. There's our massive flash. I guess we could take a shot at this, though you can't really see anything if you ask me. It's too dark. That's the problem. It's always too dark. There we go. All right, I think that covers all the shots we want there. I like how they put the windows on the lower portion, like, ah, yes, honey, the beautiful view. The beautiful view of the blood and gut swamp. Yes. That's why they never made these again. I mean, Stormhawks seem to probably use at least some. Either they completely reinvented the AI or they probably built upon it. I just love how casually you said that. Mumble, mumble, there's the massive flash. Yeah, well, listen. Listen. I've been desensitized at this point to anything Miyazaki will throw at me. Like, oh, you just have a giant mass of flesh just hanging in the middle of this tower? Okay, whatever. Whatever, bub. Whatever, Hidetaka. Honestly, nothing fundamentally different between this and what we've done already, so... Chat, I think I've gotten all the shots I can then, because I don't see anything I can get meaningfully different from here. Obviously, we can't go up here. So that's unavailable to us. We can do this, actually. All right, get down. Down, boy. Get over that edge. You're in the way of my shot. All right, fine. Pretty sure there's supposed to be hanging cages here. Where are my hanging cages? Whatever, we'll get the shot like this first. Look, see, there's our three towers. And then we got a fourth one, which we cannot access here, right? And when we were over at this tower, we could actually see like 2 or 3 more. Yeah, like it's not loading here, but there was like a few more towers over here as well. Who's a good gargoyle? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. There you are, falling off the ledge. Down 160 feet all the way down to the bottom. Good boy. Good boy. You want a cookie? You're not getting it. Anyway, here's the third tower, really. Again, for those that didn't see yesterday's stream. Oh, damn it. Oh. Window! I love climbing out a window in order to travel all the way over to my neighboring tower. And like I said, I'm pretty sure it's located like above like one of the staircase sequences. Yeah, like I think the staircase you take is like right there. I may be wrong. Because it should be, yeah, staircase here. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure when you take the staircase up, you pass by this window, right? As you go up to here, right? Ah, well, they're making me do it. They're making me do it. I'll try to get a few more. Nah, we already have a shot like this. You kind of have to be once you finish the series. Listen, we all have to be a little bit crazy in the head to be playing all these dark fantasy games from Miyazaki that expect us to die over and over again before we finally just, you know, brute force our way through it. I mean, you kind of have to accept you're going to go a little bit cuckoo in the head. You know? Yep, and look what popped into existence. All right. Now I have a question. Does it play the same cutscene if you kill the guys here first before the other tower? I'm actually curious if the same cutscene plays or not. I want to say yes because I feel like it would be more widely known that there are different cutscenes that can play. But hey, I don't know. Let's see. Hey, Macaroni. Haven't seen you in a little bit. Good to have you. Let's see what we're doing here. Yeah, now I can get shots without that stupid corpse leaving a light, distracting me. There we go. All right, guys. I like the vibe of this place. I love the atmosphere in Latria. I will say I do like what the remake did in terms of some of the details, like adding more statues and stuff. I think this is one of the areas where the Bloodbornification worked into Latria's favor because it was all about like opulence and fanciness and stuff like that. Though again, I would prefer they try to keep it consistent with the more Romanesque architecture. But they added a moon, a big blood red moon into the sky, and it wasn't anywhere near as dark as this was in terms of feel. Like the real harsh contrast between the fire and the yellow magic lights and just the general, like, you know, yellowish and greenish tint to the stone compared to the blackness of the towers and the slight green tint to the sky. Like, just again, like this is just immaculate. Like I complained about how far like the shadowing stuff doesn't let me get some shots of like bird's eye view. Who cares? We got like an amazing game atmosphere for the normal gameplay. It's okay, Nick. Don't worry. I'll make sure to pay for your room and board in the asylum. All right, let nobody say I didn't make sure we had options when it came to screenshots. I've taken so many shots of this stuff here. All right, now let's go test my hypothesis. I want to see if we actually have the same cutscene or not. I got locked up in Aldia's lab. Oh, I am. That's why you shouldn't have been a crystal lizard, I am. You should have been born, I don't know, what do they call it? A jellyfish of the Valley Defilement. Nothing happens to the jellyfish. They just sit there doing their thing in the swamp. Nobody bothers them. Where is it? It's not this one. Yeah, no, this is the... Ah, here it is. Oh, yeah, it's right there in the middle of the stair. I thought it was slightly above the staircase. No, it's slightly below the staircase, actually. Listen, guys, Blue Point should have added a secret trap door that would drop you down these stairs if you performed the right thing to remove the illusory floor. And then it would drop you here and you'd be able to access the third tower. It would have, I don't know, the old monk set. Dress yourself in the old monk's drip. My ancestors were jellyfish. I'm the only one who isn't. What happened? My ancestors were cursed, therefore I'm cursed. Sorry, it's obligatory. Yeah, I don't know if they would ever have actually made this an actual path, because it's too straightforward. It's literally just climb up to this brazier, then climb up to this brazier, to climb up to this brazier, to go inside. Like, it's a little too straightforward, all things considered. Maybe they had this idea could be a road gauntlet if they were actually intending to do it this way. I don't know, but, like, it feels... I don't know. It feels artificial. It doesn't feel like it was made for a level designed area. All right. Yeah, no. We've already got all the shots I think we can get. Man, the ivory tower, it's really fallen on hard times, you know? Think about it. The queen goes to the trouble to restoring this defunct old building. And now it's become the house for some bastard science project. Well, I guess that's always what it was made for, so... Listen, man, I don't have to deal with this when we come back here, so... I don't want to have to deal with you either, so let's keep going. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Why are you... Oh, wait, because I reloaded the area, of course. That makes sense. That makes sense. What do you mean you're not down here? Ooh. I'm confused. Okay, I don't understand why the game calls it the undead curse, or in DS2 the bearer of the curse. Oh, you, I guess you mean you, the bearer of the curse. If undeath and immortality is the true nature of men. Again, this goes to the idea that a curse is simply, again, a curse, if we want to define it in its simplest form, is simply a phenomenon manifest with the power to afflict the soul. Doesn't necessarily mean it does afflict the soul, just that it has the power to essentially afflict the soul. And under that definition, again, whichever angle you want to look at it, from either the Ring of Fire, which is itself imprisoning the dark soul, so it is by its definition afflicting a soul, or if we want to talk about the idea of that caged humanity acting out when it manifests after the fire fades and is devouring the ordinary quote-unquote white soul that humans have cultivated separate from it. Either way, that would fall under the loose definition, in the same way that you could, the same way that petrification works, right? With the way that is able to afflict the soul and essentially cause the effects of the soul to be suppressed to the point that the entire body turns to its base primordial matter, right? Which is then, which again, like through effects like, say, either purging stones or what's another one we get to use? Oh, of course. The fragrant branch of yore or something like that. You use that in order to negate that, or I should say reverse its effects. Again, the best way to think about it is you can't think of a curse as something that is necessarily external and hostile to you, right? And again, this goes back to what I was saying earlier. There's this philosophical question that sort of Dark Souls 2 introduces through the Crestfallen Warrior. Oh, I thought that was another living guy. That the Crestfallen Warrior brings up about the idea that life itself is a quote-unquote curse, right? Which again is technically, you know, something worth considering in the guise that your soul is technically it is a phenomenon that is technically a soul afflicting itself in the manifesting life, right? Again, this is why I don't try to get too hung up on the idea and terminology of curses, because it is so loosey-goosey as a term that basically you can get a lot of things. Like, a lot of things are considered curses, right? It's not something that is very strict and rigid like the different schools of magic, sorcery, pyromancy, miracles, hexes, you know. These games are all about it seeing better days. That much is true. I don't know, guys. I think whenever I go through Elden Ring and I look at the lands of Limgrave and Liurnia, I'm like, you know what? This place looks beautiful as is. We don't need to go back to the old ways there. Just let nature reclaim everything. It's much nicer this way. I'll be honest, the one-shotting is the shocking part for me. Oh. Too early, huh? I don't know if it's like I hit them twice because I'm hitting both the tail and them or something. Like, I don't know how exactly this is working. A true man appreciates Stonefang. I will say, I like Stonefang in terms of like how the smithy and everything is laid out. Like, I like the mechanics to Snowfang, if that makes sense. Like, it's like, oh, this is really cool how you made a mine smithy combo network system thing, right? I'm curious what you think of the Firelink conspiracy. Their ideas are rather out there. I have not watched one of their vids, but people in the Discord have continuously suggested I watch one of them for the sake of just seeing my reactions, where I presume the idea is they want to watch me pull my hair out, so I don't know. Take that for what you will. I have no opinion, though, until I've actually seen the content. I will say, though, from the thumbnails I've seen, some of them are very clickbaity. Like, the way they use JP text, and it's for very innocuous things, and it's like they'll just kind of feature it there, I assume, to kind of, you know, enhance the mystique of the name Firelink Conspiracy, I assume. So I find that kind of clickbaity. Again, when it comes to the general lore of Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, no comment on Elden Ring. In general, I find that the story settings and I guess for simplicity's sake, the lore of these games is really simple, straightforward, and really rather mundane when you think about it. Again, no comment on Elden Ring. I haven't even finished my analysis of that one. But like, a lot of the mystique and stuff from the games comes from our lack of knowledge, and once you kind of understand the rules and the principles and things, like, the stuff becomes very, I don't want to say bland, but really kind of, you know, straightforward, simple. I don't think you need to dive into anything, I would say, approaching conspiracy with like 99% of the lore. Special exception to Velka. Velka kind of comes with the territory. But YouTube is all about clickbait, someone somewhere. I'm sure you can make that case. I'm not one of those people, though. There are plenty of great vids and content creators on YouTube that aren't clickbaity at all, and I'm able to enjoy their stuff immensely. A widow's lotus. Not sure exactly what you're trying to get at there, Luca. Was it something I said you're trying to respond to? Because I don't remember anymore. So that looked like the same cutscene to me, right? Like, I don't think that changed anything. I may be wrong. Well, that looked to me like the exact same cutscene, so. So, I think we can pretty much assume that they... Yeah, you still have the third tower active. Ah! Man, guys, we're below the 50 on my full moon grass. Oh God, whatever will I do? I may run out of full moon grass. No, yeah, but I have thought about watching one of the Firelink conspiracy vids that have been suggested to me, but you know, I've been on this Demon Souls binge, so I put that on to the back of my mind lately. Are you going to get on the ground, you damn bastard? No! My soul! My unknown soldier / warrior soul. God, these guys really get tangled up on your body a lot, don't they? They just don't want to let me go, chat. They love me. They love me. They love me for realsies. Oh. There we go. I saw that gargoyle coming across there. Where the hell are you coming from? Like, seriously, where the hell did you come from? Playing Demon Souls is the best thing. I definitely enjoy it. I don't have to come back down here, chat. That's the fun part. All right. Don't worry, dude. You can do this all by yourself. Just keep your focus. You have the power of 4 men. I believe in you. Okay, maybe 8 men because, like, you know, I killed the other 4 in the other tower. But don't worry, you can do it. It's all on you. Just do it. Just do it. He couldn't do it, chat. He just couldn't do it. I had to put him out of his misery. It was absolutely necessary. Like, if I didn't do this, like, he might have completely, you know, got... Oh! There goes the chain. Yeah, this is the same exact. Same cutscene. Same cutscene. Oh, that's a lot of purple stuff. We live, bitch! You think we can't pump ourselves out? Ah. There we go. Go on, get over here, buddy. There's Queen's Tower. Yeah, it's not loaded from this angle. Man wanted to catch his ride. Okay, you were not. Oh god, no. Listen, I don't have time to deal with your bullshit verticality. So, like, I'm just gonna be leaving. I'm just gonna be leaving. All right. We already got shots of this. Okay, so there he is. I would have liked, if possible, to get a shot of this guy there. I should have thought to do that before we dropped him, but it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Leave the elevator, because you're not on my level. Why am I the only one asking questions about the lore? Haha. Well, listen. Some people just want to chill and watch an idiot die in a video game, okay? Like, you know, not everyone's got to be asking me the deep questions. Especially when I'm probably half tired and not able to give you, like, anything more than half coherent ramblings. I understand. Uh-oh. So, 1 second, chat. Doggo did not appreciate me closing the door on her. She was like, what the hell are you doing? I want to come inside, and I want it now, Buster. I'm the queen of this house. She's my little princess, that's for sure. And she just leaves. She just was insulted that I ever thought that I could ever force her from being able to come and go as she pleased. This dog is too much, chat. Ah, man. Imagine if we had the balls. Oh, my God. Next time, next time. Wait. You're not dead? You're not dead? I didn't hear the sound, at least. Idiots like me! Also, most of us have asked so many questions in prior streams that we run out, LOL. I mean, to be fair, I do all that stuff on the website for a reason. Like, you guys can just read that. You don't need to ask me the questions, really. Right? Like... Okay. Alright, I'll bite. What is it? What's here? Chat, it's time. Time to offload the useless crap. I think we don't need the shard anymore either now that I have evacuate or whatever it's called. I just like to chill here. That's most of what I want from Loki 2 years ago. I can't even remember what you asked me 2 years ago, That's the best part. Goldfish memory. Guys, it's like the gargoyle, except bigger, I guess. It's the gargoyle, but didn't skip arm day and leg day and probably whole body day. Yeah, nobody's forced. Yeah, nobody's forced to like ask me or anything, you know, guys. Whatever reason you're coming to the stream, that's fine. I don't mind. Who said you could enter? Who told you to enter? I think when I pressed X to move the or square to move the camera, that considered it the open prompt. Okay, good. You're still loaded. Loki, when are we doing Night Rain again to finish your stuff? At some point, I do want to return to Night Rain and finish some of the story stuff and things like that. Because we haven't yet done the, I also want to help Acer with the final boss and stuff, but, we haven't yet done some of the story stuff with the new classes. But, like, that's not a high priority for me. At some point, I want to get to it. But I'm not really, like, you know, feeling the urgent need. Maybe when I get the itch for some multiplayer action. My thoughts recently have been what I do with the late game if I remade Dark Souls 1. You know what I would do if I was given the opportunity to remake Dark Souls 1? I would add an Elden Ring jump and make all the necessary accommodations to hit boxes and death boxes and kill boxes and whatever you call them accordingly. That's all I would really change. Just give me a proper goddamn jump in that game. Probably add like bonfire effigy type things that would essentially allow you to kind of basically be the Dark Souls 3 statue thing you first teleport to when you're leaving the Firelink Shrine. Do that, but make them like invisible little things that will appear after your first death in a boss, and you can essentially use it as a default respawning point if you just want to kind of go back in and hit the boss, and you can turn that thing off. Oh, you know what? I just noticed you can see the line where it they try to hide it with a little bit of blood, but I'm onto you. Anyway, so I would probably add like some like Ashes of War type thing, probably like some type of you know, Ash of War type system, like what we already get. Because I think the Dark Souls 3 system was fine. It sucked that it was like everything was stuck there. You didn't have the customization. So what Elden Ring did was absolutely what I wanted already. Like I said, the jump, the effigies thing with bonfires, so we don't have to worry about runbacks, and then. Yeah, I feel like that'd be about it. Maybe some things on the periphery for online play and things like that. But that's like not my highest priority, so I don't know if I would be the best person to make that determination. I'd add adaptability. I am, don't you dare. Don't you dare. You'd add adaptability, you bastard. Unironically, I don't really care for any changes to Lost Izalith and Duke's Archive specifically. Like, Duke's Archives, I think it's fine as is. Like, I don't really have much more to say. Like, it suffices. Izalith, I mean, they already patched it so you can follow the path on the routes and not have to worry about the dragon butts. So if I would make any changes, I'd probably just make the dragon butts a little bit more interesting as an encounter. Maybe add a few more attacks and something so there's a little bit more variety. But like, I feel like that idea, that area is designed as a way to discourage you from just trying to fight it by just trying to find and take the main route, and I'm okay with that, right? Like, really, the biggest problem with Izalith is that it takes forever to traverse that area when you don't have something to pick up along the way, like when you've already done stuff. Like, it's a pain in the ass to have to run across that area and back with nothing to do, right? Like, it feels like going through Elden Ring without Torrent. I'd remove weapon durability because it's kind of just wasting souls. Would I get rid of it in Dark Souls 1 based on how Dark Souls 1 is functioning? I'd have to think about that one more. Because I don't know how... I feel like if I wouldn't want to remove durability. I'd want to do something to make it more meaningful, probably. I'd want to just add something to it so it's not just a soul sink, you know? I don't know what I would do, though, off the top of my head. All right, chat. I think I've got as many shots as I can with this guy in default pose. At some point... At some point, we're gonna have to just fight him. All right. Come on. Oh. Good night, Luca. Have a good one. In Izalith, I'd give each demon at least one fire attack. I don't know. I don't think you need to give them all fire attacks. Because if they were, because again, if the idea is like, oh, have Taurus use fire in Izalith instead, like the ban has no effect on why the demons don't use fire outside of Izalith in that area. Like that's not the reason why. Yeah, like I don't know how I'd feel about that, because the fire attacks tend to be limited to either the fire demons you see in 3 or to the clerical class, and they've pretty much kept that consistent across the games. So yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about that one. Batwings, I would actually be okay with seeing at least some Batwing demons in Izalith, but instead of the spears, maybe you could have them be like little, like, kind of deacon wannabes with like little pyromancy attacks, in the lead up or after you face the Fire Sage. I could see something like that. That could be an interesting twist, right? So you can get the sense, it kind of would emphasize the betrayal aspect as well. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, cool. Cool. This is... Oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. So I meant to include Demon Ruins there. It's everything above Blight down. Yeah, Demon Ruins, I assumed you included Demon Ruins. Don't worry, I'm not misunderstanding you there. Ooh, I like that. No, yeah, like what I want a lot of enemy tweaks. I mean, I think most enemy tweaks would be fine. I just think that Dark Souls 1 has enough enemy variety as is. Like I think like I said, I think the big problem with Demon Ruins is that it's just there's so much running in between, and I don't, unless you find like a smart way to be able to help you cross it. Like maybe you could create some kind of, I don't know, like lava boat or something that'll let you be able to quickly get across areas of the map. Or something, like some sort of like justification for that area that can let you be able to quickly traverse through some of the wider open spaces. So that way it's just not as taxing. I think I could see something like that working. I'd like to see Shiva's quest if they ever do remake it. That would be something that'd be really nice, just because it would actually allow like Alvina's dialogue to be delivered upon. Like, as is, the shadiest thing about Shiva is the implication that he takes all his stuff from the dead of anyone he kills, whether people he's killed himself or from any body he's come across and, you know, looted, right? Essentially desecration, right? It's like, okay, I mean, that's not the craziest thing in this world. Like, we've already met the undead merchant, right? As for Duke's Archive, I extend the forest path between Inn and Alondo to what appears to be, then add a gate where the player gets keyed to. I'm okay with the pathway as is, because nobody ever notices how little you actually walk when playing and stuff, because of the stupid pig things especially. They help distract the players well enough. I also think the problem with creating very long transitions between areas is that it creates this awkward situation where you're essentially creating like your own sub area, right? And do you really want players wasting their time on that rather than getting to the meat and potatoes? The path we currently take to get to the Crystal Forest would become a shortcut. How would I feel about a shortcut? Like, what would be the benefit of having a shortcut to there versus what we already have from the archives, though, I guess would be my question. Yeah, this will be... Because I'm going to probably want to splice one of these shots of the demon's head with... Yeah, with what we get with the Pestilence. There we go. Okay. I think it's enough there. There we go. I did not communicate this well. Yeah, maybe I'm just misunderstanding what you're trying to say. Because I assume when you say the forest path, you mean the one connecting, Anor Londo to Duke's Archives. Because that's the only one where I can see, like, we don't go as far as it seems like we do. You mean the as in like the little garden forest courtyard bit. Okay, I see what you mean now. So you'd want to extend that one to be around the whole building. Yeah, I can see that. Dude cannot make up his mind. Ah, come on, do the lasers. We're gonna reset when the other guy loads in, by the way. Oh! I like how he's hiding from like what the snake's doing. I was like, please don't hurt me. Yeah, not a good. This is the most ADHD boss in Souls history. It does feel like that sometimes. I really do feel like that. I guess that's what happens when you have a bunch of hybrids. This poor misbegotten boss. I think it's a good shot. My ADHD wouldn't let me play these games in general, or I missed my PS3. I got the YLOD, second one I have owned that did it. YLOD. That one I'm not familiar with that acronym. Is that like kind of like the, you know, the red light of death or whatever they called it for Xbox? I think about yourself, I didn't make sense at all. Well, everyone has to go through that. Everyone has to go through that with themselves, I feel. What is this monster? This is what we call a chimera, a hybrid. You take an old noble man's head, you put it on the modified body of this beast man thing, You put on a demonic snake tail thing, you graft on some bat-like wings, and voila, you have yourself an artificial demon. Man's so proud of himself, he's like, I am tough guy. I am tough. Oh. Snakes had enough. I hear the other one coming in, so we're gonna have to reset in a short bit, but I wanna... There we go. Man, those legs don't look right. Oh. I'll be honest, I don't think I like this angle. Like, take everything else out of this, I don't think I like this angle. I think staying away from the fire would have been better. There we go. Man, I didn't finish a single game as a kid because I was confused and didn't know what to do, so I don't know, for me, I never really had that trouble. I can definitely say I was able to at least complete my games. Though granted, there were some games that I couldn't be bothered to, because either I couldn't figure out the puzzles or whatever. Back then, my ability to function was worse, man. There were games I got stuck on where I'd figured them out a few and several years later in new playthroughs. I do feel like some people that happens. Like for me, I was stuck on a few Zelda titles for a bit. Some of them I went back to and would later figure out. Like, I think a lot depends on your age, your experience, right? Like, there's some stuff that I consider like natural or easy now that younger me would have really struggled to even conceptualize. You know? Oh! Starting off the fight like this is it's a choice. I don't know, man. As a kid, I just refused to play and read anything in tutorial. I feel like that's rather common. I feel like a lot of kids don't want to bother reading tutorials for stuff. I mean, even today, like when I do stuff, a lot of times I'll skip tutorials because I'm like, listen, I played a million games. I already have an idea of what to do. I used to play Silent Hill as a kid. That is an interesting opportunity you had, I am. Man, this one's tough to find like good angles for, you know? Yeah, like I guess something like this would have to do, right? Little me rip through games. I'm just too busy, exhausted, and generally depressed to play much more than roguelikes. I will admit, definitely doing this stuff with Souls and stuff has definitely cut down on a lot of games and stuff that I've played. Like, there are tons of games that I probably would have already completed by now that I simply haven't because obviously all the time goes to this type of stuff I do for the website or whatever. So, you know, it's a choice I've made in life, but, you know, if I ever feel like it, I hope you guys will understand if I ever say, guys, I'm going to go on a gaming binge, so I might disappear for a month or two. But for now, I am devoted. I am dedicated. That's gonna have to do for now with a little bit of lighting from the background. I hope you guys will forgive me for that. Alright, so we have this as an option. This is an option. Yeah, I can imagine playing Silent Hill 2 giving you nightmares at 10. Yeah, that's believable. I can see it. Oh, thank you, Nick. I appreciate, like, I literally got an email just, I think it was this morning or last night, whatever it was, with similar kind words and stuff like that. So I appreciate you guys that you enjoy my work and all that. So, hoping with this, we can say that, Demon Souls will be thoroughly covered and people, even those who aren't able to play these games will be able to get a good sense of, what they look like, what they're trying to convey visually. It amazes me how many people who are, for one reason or another, unable to play these games, as I once was. Again, you guys have to remember, until the remake, I never played Demon's Souls. So everything I had was through secondhand resources for my understanding of things outside the text. And yeah, I can say that it's kind of remarkable how you think about how much game accessibility, not that accessibility, but, you know, just the idea that you have access to an older game, right? Like the fact that Bloodborne is available on PS5, even if it's technically the PS4 version, that's a remarkable thing to have, and that I was able to do so just by virtue of owning my PS5, right? Imagine now if I had Bloodborne on PC, and there was also Demon Souls on PC, OG Demon Souls, or even the remake on PC. That would have been great too. And, like, you know, like the fact we have Dark Souls games on PC, right? Like, it's kind of crazy to me just how much that truly does affect your ability to experience these games. All right, let's see how this end of animation looks. Oh, I was about to say very unfortunate because I thought the head snapped back, but I guess not. Man. Creepy. Yeah, I think this is probably gonna be the best we're gonna get. Something like this. I'll be honest. Not really impressed. There's just something off about. There's just something off about the way that looks, you know? I don't know what it is, but there's just something off about the way that head is bending backwards. Are we sure we're not like in a Grudge film now with the way his head is twisting? Kind of silly looking. Yeah. Not the most flattering look. Like, I feel like what they wanted to do was make it where, like, the head would be back here, but the mouth would be wide open, so it would stretch a little bit more forward and it would look more natural. But because I think the head wasn't designed to open that way, the mouth, I mean, they just ended up doing this simpler animation that just looks a little, yeah. It's because he has a hunchback, really. The way his body's designed is to have that hunch, so the way they twist it upward, it just doesn't work. I see what you mean by artificial demon. Listen, they don't make the demons like they used to, chat. Back in my day, we used to be able to form primeval demons out of the fog, then stuff them full of our own imagination until they formed horrors that were, well, I guess you can't say beyond your imagination, but you get what I mean. Nowadays, we take a bunch of fleshy gobbledygook. We filter it through a giant ball of fleshy gobbledygook. We do some foggy magic bloobity blah, threw it in there, and voila, we get fucking Jank Master. I can't even do like a roar from the head, top of the head, you know? This is the only way I can make it look not completely dumb. Rah! Oh. Man's got that yellow mist on him. I know what you did. Don't think I didn't, you. I know who's responsible here. He's got like a ugly ass looking fart on him. Very unfortunate. And I generated demons now. Shake my head. Old Monk was on that AI train earlier than all of us. That was the true evil he brought to man. We're gonna reload, in fact, because I don't want to try to take shots of him with that stupid effect on. Unless he has new attacks, which I'm pretty sure he doesn't. He just gets a power boost. I don't want to. I don't want to bother. Ah, damn. I want you to run here. Ah, too early again. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to keep the fog in for this one. It doesn't look good from there. There we go. I don't know if I'll fall off or not, but that might be worth a reset. I'm just saying. That's a good shot. ChatGPT, generate me a demon with realistic movement. Define realism with a demon, you know? I mean, it's a giant winged Batman bear thing with a snake tail. How realistic is the movement we talking about here? I think the first angle was better, but just in case, let's have options. Stop it! I'ma do it! That snake tail really wanted to power up his broski. He's like, I got you, man. I'm gonna help you. Ah. Ah. Okay, cool. I thought I might fall off, but I wasn't sure. Okay. I was in fact falling off. I fell off, chat. I'm sorry to say. Loki fell off. We all know I used to be good at the Dark Souls. right, so chat, I feel like we've gotten all the shots of what this guy can do. We've gotten his stupid roar shot. We got his little laser beams. We got his power up. We got his front and his back. We got his various body parts. We got close-ups on the head especially. Like, what else is there? I think there's only getting the shot of the two of them together now. Like, I feel I'd probably want to get a shot of that, period. I don't know how they do that fast menu stuff, because I always complain the menus don't keep up with my thumbs. Some people it's just practice, you know, you do it enough times it becomes like muscle memory, like any other button press. But for me, I have the benefit of free cam to freeze things in place when I want to do it. So basically what I'm trying to say is I cheat. Q Xavier talking about, you know, Loki is a filthy stinking cheater. I'm just ready. I hear it already, Xavier. I know you're in the wings, ready to type it up. Ready to make the joke. Yeah, I think I already got... Shot I got of this already looks fine. Alright, so let's just wait until the second guy pops up. Hey, I say you cheat lore. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm afraid I slandered you then. Sorry. Oh. I think my favorite part is how very obvious they did not do a good job of hiding the fact that this just comes off. They did the same thing with the stupid pest celebs, which I guess is partly what the pest celebs are supposed to be teaching you, quote unquote. Oh, that was too early. I was not expecting him to do the jump, to be honest. TBH. Again, I love how he tries to hide, like it's the snake that's doing it, not him. Right? Like it's the snake that's like, hey, I'm going to now shoot at you. Oh! I'll be honest, I hear the second guy, and obviously his health bars appeared, but I don't see him. Ah, there he is. He's had to take his sweet time flying in. Good to know. You just think it's too bright. It's okay. It's never too bright. We always need more Bestel. Don't forget you steal all your content from lesser known creators. every time I watch a smaller creator than myself watching their reacting to their content. Oh yeah, you guys are too much. Wait, where's the other guy? Oh, there he is. Both of you, get down here. Or at the very least, one of you is going to be flying. Yep. I got tagged in. It's fine. It's fine. I like that shot, just in general. Taking after Vati just plagiarizing Tistis. Listen, I can't speak anything, but Vati has always been very open, transparent, and professional with me. All right. One more time, chat. One more time. We have to wait until this guy shows up. We'll get a shot of them both together, and I think we'll be done. I think we can complete the boss fight and move on with life. Oh, yeah, yeah. Come on. And then we can do, I think we can do Old Monk quick enough. I think Old Monk will be easy, even on New Game Plus. I'm not too concerned about getting shots. What do I want shots of? Homing Soul Mass, a few close-ups probably on the default Phantom, and then the area. Woo. I made a mistake. I forgot to That was close. I got myself too distracted. I wasn't, I should have been having my, my shield up to block that attack. Now here's a question. Can you block the, I've never tried, but can you actually block the, paralysis attack? Like, can the stun be blocked? The sarcasm is crazy. I mean, sarcasm is sarcasm. Uh-oh. All right. Actually, I'm may as well try to kill him because it'll make this guy appear faster. Get the shit off my hotbar. I guess we can wait until the other guy comes spawning in this way. Pitch perfect AI from software. Really, I would change nothing. Up! Nope, it will hit you regardless. That last attack definitely did. Man looks like he's about to square off, like he's like, you have insulted my mother, prepare to die. Oh god, he snapped back to beast mode. Oh, oh my god, I can't believe that. I think it's the one time the backstep actually did something. I guess I always thought S was serious and J was joking. Guess I'm not chronically online enough. LOL. I feel like /S for sarcasm has been like a thing forever. I don't know. At least I'm not familiar with it ever being used for. Yeah, I don't think I'm familiar with it ever being used for being serious. I don't think I've seen /J either. So that one would be a culture shock for me. Oh, what? I'm so confused. I'm so confused there. Oh. This one doesn't have the glowing eyes. I didn't realize there was a difference between them. Huh. Is that just because I'm not facing him right now? Or is that actually a thing for this guy? Guess we better take close-up shots of him, too. In case we want to edit that. Instead of giving it better pathing, they just made one of his attacks hitbox through the fire. LOL, yeah. Why fix your boss when you can just screw up your hitboxes, you know? That's how that goes, right? Yeah, I just want some shots of both of these guys together. I used to think S meant you were being sarcastic, but I've been told it actually means it's the end of your sarcastic statement. Minor gray area, LOL. I mean, if you're putting at the end of your sentences, I'm pretty sure that pretty much tells you that everything before that is sarcastic. So I feel like there isn't too much of a gray area there. At least personally, I don't think so. Oh no, that guy just, okay, you are. Okay, it is glowing. It was just my character. I guess it didn't load or whatever there. Okay, cool. So we just got some free shots of this guy with his eye. Okay, cool. I'll be using that for the edit then to compare to the past celebs. That's actually really cool. All right, chat. I think these shots are pretty much pitch perfect. I think we got everything we wanted. Let's beat this guy for realsies. I guess it's semantics. Yeah, that's what I'd say. I don't think that's a big difference personally. All right, guys. I have faith in me. Do you have faith in me? Do you have faith in me that I can beat this fight legit now? That was too early. I don't believe in myself anymore, chat. I don't believe in me anymore. Oh, okay. Get down here, asshole. Get down here, asshole. Get down. I don't know when you lost your tail. Oh, wait, no, the tail's not lost. Make a decision. Is your tail missing or is it not? Come on, you can do it, man. You can land. Come on, it's not that hard. There we go. That hitbox is surprisingly tight in some areas. Yeah, that's a surprisingly tight hitbox. I thought it was actually a lot bigger. Come on, get over here. You're almost dead. Come on, buddy. Where are you? All right. Just in time for part 2. Get over here, dumbass! Honestly, if the hitbox is going to be that tight, I can technically just walk around him. Yep. You just walk around him then. Okay. This boss isn't as scary once you learn that. I've been trying so hard to get like timings right and shit, and all I gotta do is just walk in a circle. Okay, now that one, I think you do have to dodge roll. I don't think you can just walk that one. Get down here, you bastard! Get down here, you dumb bastard! Well. There we go. My mixed demon soul. Still not loading it. All right, let's spend our souls and then we'll come back here. My kitten watches you with me. Well, I hope your kitten is entertained. Wait, where are you? Where are you, girly? There you are. I'm touching that demon, all right.
Art thou done?
Yeah, sure. Let me do some repairs real quick, girl. All right, so we're pretty much done with screenshots except Valley of Defilement now. Like, after we do all this, like, we've covered most of the screenshots I'd want to get. Save you. Four unknowns. God, the amount of gargoyles I've killed. I can't remember if I have that already.
You have a...
Alright, don't mind me, chat. I don't remember if I had that already in there, but I'm pretty sure I have this. Pretty sure I have the shield. S stock, I don't think I need another... This, I don't think I need another... This, I don't think we need another... I don't think we need another kite shield either. Rune shield. All cats are entertained by the consumption of souls. Yes, of course. The devil, cats, synonymous. Is this under swords? Wait. Oh, I have a number of these. Oh yeah, I have more weapons. I didn't realize I picked up baby's nail at some point. Okay, so I'm not seeing Flamberge here. Maybe I'm blind and I skipped it. Oh no, yeah, it's here. Okay, Flamberge is 2 Flamberge. Okay, yep. You have a heart of gold. I have so much extra crap. Probably could.
Hi.
There we go. All right, 3 a.m. here. Bye, bye. All right.
You come back alive.
Chat, it is time. No, even the devil's fear cat. Oh, I never even considered that, but yeah, let's get a shot like this. Yeah, for another shot of the Queen's Tower. Oh yeah, that's a good one. I like it, man. Yeah, baby. I hate how much they make Thomas look like James Corden in the remake. It's uncanny. I'll be honest, some of the remake faces were very questionable, like Satsuki. Yeah. I don't know what they were thinking with Satsuki. I'm like, are we back in the 1920s? What is this? What is this stereotype bullshit? Ba, 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 ba. I wish he had a beard like in his concept art. I'm gonna say it. I like the idea of giving him a beard, little gray scruffy beard. We were robbed. I'm just saying. We were robbed of the beard. Presto change-all. How could you do this to me? Dun-dun, betrayal. I think it had like a sound effect in the remake too, like there was this big like like just a little sound effect to be like emphasized it. It was like it was one of those Hollywood corny moments. I actually liked that one. I'm so glad I'm not the only one who thought that he legit looks like he came out of a World War II propaganda poster. Yeah, just give him the yellow skin and he'd be perfect. He'd be like a dead ringer, you know? Again, as I said, the general Americanization of Demon Souls in the remake is, it's a tragedy. We did not need to Hollywoodize the Japanese game. That did not improve anything. Student old monk. Oh shit! I didn't realize that this just goes on. And, it actually just goes on. Lol. Oh, I was not expecting that. Wait, where? There he is. Okay. Oh, to have a dude get summoned there and wait just inside the fog wall with God's wrath at the ready. I remember it well. I don't. I never experienced that. But man, that sounds like cancer. I mean, Miyazaki's very proud of he's very proud of the old monk idea, which is why I think we see him keep trying to bring it back and improve upon it, because it's something that he had an idea for. It was very unconventional, and players really liked it, right? So I think he's had a very, I mean, he's admitted himself he has a soft spot. It's one of his probably favorite boss mechanic idea things they've implemented. I think that covers it, chat. Yeah, they're just going to the top of the tower now. Really? How much damage did that do? I guess this is area 3, so... Do I wait for the bleed to kill him? No. Why do I loot the old spice? It's never anything good. It's one of those habits I have that I need to stop. There we go. Oh god, I forgot about the lingering hitbox. I completely forgot about the lingering hitbox. Making you fight these guys in this open area is such a cancerous idea. There we go. Fun fact, their grab is the only physical attack they have, so protection and warding reduce it. Interesting. Ah, queen. Our lovely queen. God, the blur. That depth of field is so rough. I'm pretty sure this isn't the shape of the tower on the outside, so I don't know if this is supposed to be walled or not. It's hard to say because obviously they don't expect you to be able to even look up here this far, so. Go. There we are. All right, something like this. Is this just all the seats of the nobility stacked up? Yeah, there's actually something underneath, right? Little platform stuff, but you get the idea. If you actually got on Demonic Archive, you get an amazing artwork by Juan rendering this. And it looks absolutely just amazing, seeing like all the seats and stuff kind of in their proper order with the nobles and stuff there and the queen up high and things. Like, God, Juan just does a really good job with the art for like, well, anything, but like especially for Abyssal Archive and Demonic Archive. I love what he did with it all. There we go. If you like this song, Loki, the soundtrack for Ender Lilies is mostly music, kind of like this with a somber piano. Listen, Ender Lilies looks just good on its own, and I wouldn't be surprised if it had a OST like that to complement it. That definitely feels like it would fit the vibe, the art style's going for. All right. Yeah, over here is better. It's got better lighting. There we go. It does. You're doing yourself a disservice having not played it. Well, again, it's something that definitely I have on my Steam account, so whenever I'm feeling the mood for something different, I can throw it up. But unfortunately, we're starting to get a bit of a backlog for me for games I wanna play and beat. So let's try to wrap this stuff up with Demon Souls, and we can start getting through that stuff. And I can start, when I get the feel for it, try something new like that. All right, I think that's most of the... God, ugh! The depth of field is so disgusting here. Like, take away this depth of field, I would be so happy. It's a legitimately nice area, you know? Let's try not to have our Black Phantom boy in the shot. Would have been cool if there was a fallen painting here, you know, kind of just fell off. Yeah, I never even thought about how there's a carpet here. Big circular carpet, you know? All right, chat, I think we got in most of the shots I'm gonna get, so I think we just want to get the homing soul arrow thing, and then we're done. Let's keep our eyes on this. I can't drop it. Depth of field, bloom, and TA upscaling, DLSS, FSR, are three of the worst things in video games today in terms of rendering. I mean, bloom was just a thing of the PS3 era, right? And a lot of games are kind of designed with it in mind, so I don't mind that as much because most of the time it looks good. Like sometimes it looks like atrocious, like with King Alon's fog wing things at the beginning of the fight. But then like when the fight actually begins and he like starts moving around and doing it, it looks fine. Depth of field though, in From Software titles especially, has always looked absolutely ass. Especially considering these are games that are designed where you want to look at the stuff far away because the way it is. And I get it in Demon's Souls because a lot of that far away stuff they couldn't render properly in its whole thing, right? But especially if we were to have a modern remaster that would let everything be rendered in full, if you could choose that toggle on draw distances, I would want it. He gets more projectiles and health lowers, right? I don't remember the specifics. All right, let's get Claw Boy. All right. Oh, wait. He's about to use the Insanity Catalyst for something. All right. I think this angle is slightly better. No, yeah. Come on. No! Use it, you damn bastard! I'm saying that a lot today. Oh, no, my chair! Use your sorcery! He pulls it out and puts it right back in. He can cast Soul Ray. Well, he doesn't want to. Like, bastard, I'm keeping at range. Doesn't your AI want to? Oh? 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 Is it the chairs? Is he just... Does this AI just think he doesn't have line of sight for me? He's gonna backstab me if I'm not careful with this. Brain had Dark Souls in it for some reason. I mean, I'm not surprised. Oh. I'll be honest, I'm surprised that didn't kill me. Before I screw myself. You have it! You have your cap. No! Put it back on! He's doing it. He's doing it. My man's performing the forbidden arts. Go. This music has me thinking of Code Vein for some reason. No, it's Trails. It is Kiseki. Now let's see. All right. Yeah, we'll wait until we'll wait till low health so we can get. Oh God, I haven't healed enough. Oh. Thank God this man doesn't know how to sprint. Can I get a backstab on you? No. There we go. You can, but he turns quick as fuck. Yeah. Think I'm seeing that. Think I'm seeing that for myself. Got it. The pew pew. It's bigger. Yeah, I love the little animation they do. Thank God he was doing a charge attack like a moron. Oh, he's bleeding. That sucks. I didn't want you to bleed, my friend. Oh, let's get him to low HP. Let's get him to low and hope the bleed doesn't kill him by the time it expires. All right, how many can be at max? 5 or 6? I forget what you guys were saying. Guys, we're at 5 homing soul arrows, so. Can we hide it? Kind of. Really? No. It's so hard. Okay. Okay. I can make this work if I crop this. If I crop this is the beauty of 4K images. You can crop it and still have decent quality. If I do it like this, I can hide it well enough. All right. Beautiful. 5 max. Okay, so we're already at max that he can have. Oh, shit. Yeah, looks like bleed's done. All right, we got it. We got it. We got it. Listen, your cat always lands on his feet, Nick. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Damn, I hate it when it does that. I think it's a good angle. All right, it's time. A demon was destroyed. Yeah, everything looks so blurry. I felt like I was having a heart attack. God, it's awful. Well, I'll make do with what I have. I will make do. Let's actually come in here and then come back. I might be able to make this work. Let's see. I have an idea, so I can at least get some of this room. good enough, I think. If the remake does not have a patch ready for when the servers for it get shut down to place the monk's head collar on the archstone when you beat the boss, I'll be most upset. I'm sorry to tell you, but I don't think they're going to be doing anything now that the 2 point's been dissolved. Outside on the windowsill. Oh my god. That cat really wants to test the 9 lives theory. All right, chat. It sucks that on PS3, unless you know how to link the Archstone server, you're forever locked out of that thing. Well, that's why emulation exists, right? Again, I would rather have an official PC release of this. Maybe even a slight remaster where you can adjust more PC settings and things. And like I said, enable stuff so you can have more things, you know, just so that way things are more visible and enabled and, you know, just in general, you know, be able to have a fuller experience. I would like to be able to go to Stonefang and be able to, from the very first section, be able to look at it and be like, oh, look, I see where the, I see the area where I'm going to for the spider boss, right? So I would like something like that, but I just want to see it on PSC. Unfortunately, it looks like Sony's rolling back all its PC initiatives, which God knows why. Like, seriously. You're not going to be the top console exclusive forever, Sony. You need to invest for the future. PC, especially if it's for some of your older games that have been out for God knows how long, is a great way to make it so that way people will feel like your stuff is available forever and ever. And you're actually getting some value out of your old catalog. I don't know why these corpos are so allergic to having proper money.
Yeah.
I never dropped this. I'll be honest, I thought I did. Well, I can drop this. Oh. Drop this finally. There we go. Even on emulation, you require the Archstone server. Yeah, again, this is why having a proper PC release would be nice, right? Because then you can have something more open, more accessible. You could have some type of modding or something more officially made, right? Instead of you having to be like, okay, you have to figure out how to emulate. Okay, once you figure out how to emulate, now you have to figure out how to get the servers up and running. Which, as we saw in the tutorial, is not always the most straightforward thing, at least for my dumbass brain. So yeah, in general, could be better. Could be worse. Could be better, though. All right. Let's go see how much we need to do with this girl. All right, so next up is going to be getting all the stuff for Valley Defilement and Temple of God. This one, it's important that we keep ourselves in pure white tendency so I can get the Iskarel area unlocked. I've never actually been there myself, so I guess we'll see. This has to be enough, right? Oh my god, it's not. Still not enough, okay. Pretty sure we just need to use like a basic, right? There we go.
Mind, key to life's ether.
Almost there. I can almost use the stupid meat cleaver I got myself. I did not, Xavier, because I wasn't sure if you got the answer you wanted when you were looking at it for whatever you were doing, ChatGPT or whatever. But I'll look it up for you right now. I'll hop on the voice chat for you. Also, Loki, I think I asked this question right before the end of a stream and you were like, oh, good question. I didn't get an answer once and for all. Mikasa or pre-eclipse Casca? Casca. Casca is so much hotter. I'm sorry. Listen, Tukasa is not Mikasa. That's all I have to say there. Like, Casca's just... It's tomboy supremacy, I'm sorry to say. I'm just, she just doesn't do it for me. Now, if we were talking about Makoto Misaka instead of Mikasa, that's a different story. That's where I'm like, ooh, sorry, Casca. I think my Biri wins. Alrighty, sadly Sony's backing away from PC releases since they don't want Steam to take any. They're too dumb to realize sales on PC are either people double playing them or people who would not have a PS5. Yeah, they're everyone's trying to go really hard on PC right now. You can see like someone paid off the New York government to file their stupid cases against Steam, and obviously there's a million other companies that are more applicable to whatever Steam is being accused of and all this crap. So it's very obvious that people just don't like that Steam has a really has the obvious monopoly, because it's not even like, you know, a scummy monopoly. It's just like literally what's the joke? Gabe does nothing and still wins. Like, is that everyone has just been so absolutely shitty, and Steam gets ahead of the curve on actually, you know, being the most, you know, what's the word? Accommodating to users and everything, right? And it's like, just pay the 30%, bruh. Like, every time you guys try to make your own Steam, you fail miserably. Steam just does everything you do better. Goth tomboys are also pretty great, but like goth girls and tomboys are like their own categories, you know, like there's some, you can have an overlap, but you know. Yeah, I don't know what Sony's plan is long term. Yeah, it's not Valve's fault. Like, seriously, like, just like, it's, if you want to do better than Steam, be my guest. I would love the competition for Steam, but like, it's not Steam's fault that they've been like probably one of the most consumer friendly like product. They're not really a product, they're a service, right? They're the most consumer friendly like online service providers out there, right? Like hands down. And like, people are just really pissed about that. So they're just trying to do whatever they can to deny Steam a cut of the pie, when like they're the ones that are like giving opening up opportunities for so much, because everyone loves having their Steam library. Like, the only way to make a Steam library better is if governments would just pass laws that would say that online digital games are still owned. You do not license them. Like, when it says buy, you actually are buying, right? I think that's the one thing, is we need to have digital property laws catch up to obviously physical. This has never been done and clarified. So that way, you know, we can't have like games arbitrarily taken. If you bought it, it's mine. I can do with it what I wish, right? They built the best light bulb. Yeah, exactly. Like, at some point, you just kind of have to accept that, like, Steam just basically made the perfect game service provider. Like, it's one of the things I've enjoyed of seeing in manga too, is that mangas start finally, like, it took forever for the Japanese suits to finally figure this out, but they finally started getting into digital distribution to get ahead of piracy. And I applaud them. Because yes, I do love spending like $5 in order to read like all the manga on like, you know, that comes out of Shonen Jump or something like that every week and stuff like that. I do enjoy, at least when it comes to like the latest 3 chapters, right? Because usually they let you be able to read their whole back catalog of older chapters, and like, yeah, that's good, because that's actually what helps keep people in the ecosystem and prefer going to your platform rather than illicit means. I think Gabe said it best. Ultimately, it's always a service issue. And the problem is that all these other companies, they don't want to bend for what the market demands. They want the market to to be something it's not. And that's always going to be the problem. That can only work if you don't have someone else out there in the field, and which is why they're trying to get rid of Steam so they can remove essentially their quote-unquote competition. People also forget that Steam sucked early on. It took them years to get good. Well, the thing is that Steam didn't really have any competition at the time it was doing its thing. Like, no one really paid too much attention to it at the time. It had to slowly grow. Like, people forget that Steam basically kind of started mainly for Valve's games, like for TF2 and stuff early on, right? Like, I remember when the, what was it, the Orange Box, I think they called it, was when they were selling stuff like that and things like that. And everything was done through the Steam there. The point, though, is that, like, yeah, Steam had the early adoption rate, right? And it can learn through trial and error, but it wasn't that bad either for the time. Like, it for considering it had absolutely zero else to compare against, it was pretty okay. And then it just got better over time. And then obviously when others were starting to compete, it had even more reason to. But the thing about Steam was that they were always proactive. Valve has always been proactive about making sure that their quality is improved upon. I miss when Valve was primarily about games, but if the sacrifice was for Steam, I'll take it. I use Epic Games just for the free games, and let me tell you that UI is just so much more unpleasant in comparison. Yeah, I feel Xavier makes a good point here. Epic Games keeps having to like hand you like free games to use their platform, and people still don't want to use the platform. Like, that should just tell you that you have a really shitty platform. The problem is not the free games you hand out. The problem is the platform itself. Same thing with like EA when they were doing their Origin bullshit. Anyway, that's enough of me bitching and moaning about the state of the PC industry. I got the shots I wanted. I'm very happy with those shots. I'm hopeful in the future, when we get to Valley Defilement, that we'll be able to do that cleanly. That's going to be a little awkward because there's all the stuff in the poison and everything like that. And then, like, if I want a shot with the items robbed, that's going to be weird. Because I'm going to want the Phantom. I want the Phantom of the cannibal, but I'm going to want I'm going to probably want some shots of the Swamp Village and things like that. But I don't know. We've gotten a lot of those shots already, I feel. I think the main stuff is probably going to be Astraea and the other two bosses. Leechmonger and Dirty Colossus. I think if I get shots of those, I'll be fine. And I can make everything else I already have work. Yeah, exclusives are an entirely separate debate, because then obviously you're kind of limited to stuff. But here's the thing, maybe it's just me, there are not a lot of games that I feel like exclusivity really makes me want to get that platform, right? Like Duskbloods. I have zero interest in playing Duskbloods. Like, I might get into like the narrative and the lore and something, depending on how much I jive with that type of stuff or whatever, if I decide to follow it. But I have zero interest in actually getting a Nintendo console just to play Duskbloods. Like, I have PC, I have a PlayStation 5. Like, I don't really care enough to get Nintendo exclusives. Like, I really don't. Anyway, that's enough for me for today, guys. So I'm going to be leaving now. Thank you so much. Later.